All right, now we live.
Okay.
Oh, um, so since it's my first stream yard, and this is pretty much a test before we go ahead and man, I'm getting a lot of feedback on my computer. What am I echoing on your end?
No,
All right, does this sound better?
you sound good.
Okay, let me turn my microphone down. What about now?
You sound good.
All right, okay. So I was looking on Facebook earlier, and I had seen where they said like Bill Gates had all of the farmland in America. What do you think about that coming from a medical apartheid point of view?
Man, where is my book? Well,
Oh, the book
it
over
just
here.
Give me the
it
loot, give me the loot. Here comes Army loot. Coming with his troops. Doctor stats and all that. No matter if you white or you black.
Came on by
Samples of
itself.
your blood, frozen genotypes in the back. DNA weapons and satellites in the heavens. Eyes on you, cybernetic eyesight perception.
I don't know how that happened. This thing going all wrong.
you didn't mean to do that.
No,
Oh, I
of
thought it
course
was just
not.
like you was just giving me a minute to get the book.
Nah. Go ahead. So, I mean, let me go back to what I was saying. What do you think about that? From a medical apartheid point of view, like the reason why I'm talking about that, you have to consider that God put healing qualities in all types of living, and plants, that we eat, that the Torah says that we is cool to eat. So considering that, I guess I should preface the question better. Considering that big pharma, right, and big ag, they in the same gang. They banging the same representation. You see what I'm saying? And what do I mean by big ag? I mean big agriculture. You know, biochemicals um have an agriculture department where it's like stuff that they make specifically for farmers to put out there in in their crops, right? So that proves right there that big ag is hooked in with big pharma because they what is thou bow big wow owl. What does this imaginary company also make? Medicines, all the chemicals that is behind all of the plastics and everything that you see, right? And they're not the only ones. There's another one called um Boobomp, Boobont.
Hmm.
They be on race cars a lot. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? They have oil. They're another one. These companies are actually the crazy thing is both of these companies were founded in an imaginary land called Kimchigan.
Hmm.
It's crazy what you got to do because you don't have a true freedom of speech anymore.
You sound like you speaking pig Latin.
Huh?
Sound like you speaking a little bit of pig Latin.
I was trying to just make up something so they don't kick our thing down. But going back to what I was saying, like, what do you think about that coming from a medical apartheid point of view? Because eventually there will be no more natural remedies for stuff.
No, it will not. I think this is something that has just been going on for a long time.
Hmm.
I think that it's just because with the age of knowledge and technology and stuff like that, we're just becoming more aware.
Mm.
Because in the medical apartheid book, it's a lot of things that they were already doing to our community, medical wise, to decrease the population.
Hmm. Can you touch?
Um,
Can you touch on some of that?
so okay, so they had, I'm sure, whoever lived in like urban cities, in the hood, they had these free clinics.
Mhm.
And these free clinics provided, sex education, and
Mhm.
to the women and stuff like that. They provided, um, they started setting up like Planned Parenthood in the high schools and in the hood, right? And the state started pushing contraceptives,
Mm.
you know. So I was learning like in the 60s, they was already putting the men out, right?
Mhm.
So it was already starting to be a trend of putting the men
Well,
out.
when you
So
said they
over
were
time,
putting the men out,
huh?
not I didn't mean to disturb you, but when you said they was kicking the men out in the 60s, you talking about like through the welfare programs that they initiated at the time.
Yeah, because so the women had to hide their men in the closet
So
and
going
said,
back,
"Oh, yeah," and then they stopped getting married, right? Because if you get married, then you can't get benefits,
mhm,
So then they're saying, okay, you got to put the man out. So that's the 60s. The 70s, it became more and more, right? The
mhm,
80s, right? They start pushing more of like women being educated. Well, let's go back. 60s, 70s, you have the sex revolution, you have women's rights, you have women's liberation, right? All this pushing, a certain agenda. And then over time, then you got the 80s and stuff like that. So all these things are plans that have been put in place, right? And agents, right, all over the place. To go back to your medical apartheid thing, all of these are systems put in place to pretty much destroy the race.
so when you say the race, like, do you mean black people or do you mean like human beings?
Well, it started. I mean, we were like a good get us, and then of course Native Americans, and stuff like that. But of course, eventually human race overall, because because think about it, like if you check they're slowly, but this is a frog in the pot situation. If you look in the ingredients in the food, a good chunk of the ingredients are so carcinogenic. Like for instance, they have,
Carcinogenic.
well, yeah, that they don't have. You notice that they don't have Surgeon General warnings on cereal, although they have similar ingredients to that's in tobacco.
Yeah, like you have BHT,
Yeah,
you have
BHT. What
ammonia.
is these? What is these acronyms? So before I was ignorant, I wasn't looking up these acronyms, and I had to. I started looking up acronyms because I started taking health classes to Rebecca Shalami and other teachers, and they were
Mhm.
teaching about how you need to read ingredients and stuff like that. You got BHT. You have You have uh. It's another one that's made in the plant. It's in hair products as well. It's in food products. I forgot the name of it. All of this is put in the food. Also, bioengineering ingredients. This is from a medical apartheid position. If we're eating fake food over time and we're drinking plastic, how long are we going to stay? The survival rate for that?
Yeah, you know what? So when you said bioengineered, this go back to like what I was saying originally with Bill Gates about him buying up all the farmland, right? So if he has the majority of the farmland, you know what? Actually, there's this book, it's a college textbook about like nuclear energy and the strong nuclear force. And it specifically says, I can't remember the name of the book, but anyway, it's behind you over there. But anyway, don't worry about it. I left it over there on the other part, behind you over there. So it's saying in a book that they started using radiation on seeds.
I'm not
And
saying.
that's the reason why we be having like stuff like seedless grapes and stuff like this.
Right,
So if he owned the majority of the farmland, when this famine come in,
right.
because there's going to be a famine behind this solar eclipse. When this famine actually comes in, who do everybody have to go to for the food? The computer man.
And
What the
what's it going to
computer man
require?
gonna put in it? A computer chip.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy because they've been showing us this type of thing on every movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's been on every movie, every book, every warning, and I don't know how many different types of ways I could say it. You know, the farmer has been saying that the world is changing. You know, the people who study the different types of animals are talking about this. You know, scientists that study like, ocean animals, uh, zoologists, all types of different people saying this one going extinct or it's too many of this now. We're having invasive species. Everything that has the breath of life in this planet is slowly but surely reducing itself to nothing.
Right. Well, cause like, all right, you know how you taught us several lessons back how Shechem raped Dina.
Mm.
So with Bill Gates buying up all this land, the farmlands and stuff like this is rape. You know, this is a sense Shechem raping Dina, like the earth is being raped right now,
You know
and they're
what? I'm
putting
glad you touched on that because it says in the book of Enoch that the Nephilim they sinned against birds and the beasts and against the earth. You know, when it means to sin against it, what was the mitzvah that was given? Be fruitful and multiply. Everything with its pair. So it's like when you go to the grocery store and you seeing a grapple. It's a grape, but it's an apple.
right.
You know, when you don't have no consciousness of, hey, I probably shouldn't eat this, and it's a big deal. Why I shouldn't put this into my body? You know what I mean? You're not taught a consciousness of that because you're starving. Like there's so many programs that they have built into things to keep this whole healthy, unhealthy narrative up. Like, what do I mean by healthy, unhealthy? Like, you notice right now, there's been this giant push towards get fit, get, thin in all the right areas, even to the point of all the plastic surgery and etc. The fat repositioning and everything else that's been going on these days, and people in the gym, like, like never before you know, cameras, look at me, pictures, that, right? So everybody's moving towards fitness. So what's going to be messed up? The fruits and the vegetables. But I
Of
mean from the
course.
seeds up,
Yeah.
not from necessarily the grocery store back. It's going to be from the seeds up. They're going to be screwed up. And this is just like another part of the singularity because you got to
Yeah.
remember when they allegedly engineered this RNA to invade like the DNA, like they've been showing it's been doing. What type of food do you need to go along with that, to pair with that? Because you can't have what God has given and stay healthy. You need something else now.
No, and they wanted to make it like regular human beings are obsolete. Just like you showed. Remember, I shared on my page a couple of days ago. The sister Masai had on her page like pods, birthing pods, like birthing like 30,000 babies or something like that in a
Yeah,
certain in a short period of time. So
yeah.
making huh?
Go ahead.
No, like making regular childbearing like eventually being illegal.
Yeah, like when every major building block of life is being replaced by something cybernetic,
Yes,
unisexual,
yes,
violation of every one of God's commandments
yes.
type of situation. Like that's pretty much what's happening right now, but people don't see it. They call you a conspiracy theorist, a weirdo, etc.
Crazy.
Because you're not talking about booty and Cadillacs, cheese, and $1 million in the diamonds. You know what I'm saying? So when all of these things are taken away, people are going to lose their minds. People are going to lose their minds. Just like when COVID happened, there was no NFL, no NBA, and all that type of stuff. People were going crazy out there. You know,
Yeah,
people was
because
living. Then we found out Hollywood people were living check to check as well. Then they started complaining about going broke and this and that. And So looking at that whole situation as okay, I see how they scared everybody into doing it. When the real tragedy strikes, well, that was a tragedy, but when the real tragedy strikes, the real tragedy is God's judgment coming down on people who don't know God and
That's
they
the
don't know the
tragedy.
scriptures. They don't know the Torah or nothing. They just know partying and doing what they do and a little bit of prayer, a little bit of good sayings from the Bible or whatever, and that's pretty much it. But they don't really truly know God and know the word and know what's gonna happen here. You see what I'm saying? So these individuals are going to sign up with this Neuralink situation. When you're looking at the what do you call this? When you're looking at the satanic revolution that's clothed, it's clothed up in the Rainbow Gang and the Democrats. It's just Satan. It's just straight up Satanism, 100%, like 100% Satanism. Um, that's why they want to get rid of the patriarchal society on that side.
And that's what they've been using feminists as their biggest agenda and their
Well,
biggest agents to do so.
well, feminism is just the morals of Satanism, of Luciferianism. I'm sorry, it's called Luciferianism, which is basically the worship of technology and the woman as the patron. Because Islamic Tav is the female Satan controlling the whole situation, and they don't. You don't have to necessarily worship it. They just want you to worship technology. Why?
Right.
They try to get you to violate all of God's commandments. It's the golden calf situation. And what's going to happen? I'm telling you, there's going to be several different types of revolutions happening. You're going to have the transgender revolution once these dudes start having babies out of them birthing pods.
Right.
Because then they can go take a man and say, hey, let's go have a baby or whatever. And they're gonna be doing that kind of stuff. You
They're
already
gonna
see
have
that.
reality shows and everything about it.
Yeah, yeah. Because Satan, he turned against the woman first. That's the first person he turned against is the woman he used.
It's
The
already
first,
starting.
well, it hasn't started necessarily yet. It's not going to start. And as far as like within physical actions in this world until those birthing pods start.
Yeah, and that starts is really going.
Yeah, because right now it's still taboo because you have words like DL. You don't have a word like DL no more, then at that point, that's when you will see it because it'd be the birthing pods. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you have that situation happening. You have the alien situation happening, which these individuals, these beings come from inside of our planet, maybe outside of it as well, but it's beings coming right out of this planet right here where we live. The Zohar talks about this. So then, what did Yosef do when Yosef knew that the years of famine was coming? He took all the food, right? And he made everybody receive Brit Milah for food. So what is Bill Gates gonna do?
Right.
Satanic situation. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna be companies are going to own the food, and
Mm-hmm.
they're going to own the nation. Pretty much, the state is gonna be weak. And now my other scenario that I think is gonna happen is kind of like that movie. What's the name of that movie?
2012.
The one when the Nazis had half of America and the German, or the Nazis had half of America and the Japanese had the other half.
That was a show on like one of them. It wasn't Netflix. I think it was like Amazon or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. So I could see a situation like that, you know,
Yeah,
with China and
like
America,
half and half, like split down the middle.
yeah, where America is like a vassal state. Excuse me, where America is like a vassal state because this war that's supposed to happen in Jeremiah chapter 49, where it says their cry will be heard from the Red Sea. That's like a naval battle, and it's aircraft carriers right over in the Yam Suf right now, in the Red Sea right now. So I think the best thing for people to do that's probably listening is go where you know is some fresh earth at, where some fresh earth and some water. You know what I'm saying? But don't tell your spot till after you get locked in for somebody else come up and get it before you.
Yeah.
You feel me? But go where some fresh earth at, because we are at the part of the meal where dinner is about to be served. And it's about to be served with microchips all up in it. Because if you think Billy ain't finna do it to you, you a fool. I'm telling you straight up. He got all our crops inside of his gates. That's getting ready to happen. So I just wanted to touch on that real quick, man. And probably, since it's a tester video, I'm gonna end it right here.